everybody in, come on, it's time.
Sure, sure, that's sweet. Or what you really wanted to make sure he got an entrance and you all noticed it. No, that's the whole deal.
No.
But we are excited to have you here this morning. And Jamie is excited to kick us off and get us going today.
Yeah, let's kick it off. We've got a great day today. Thank you for being here. Everyone's starting to move a little slower because it's getting a little colder. Even our hot leads are wearing harness. And my name's Jamie Ogden. I'm the Chief Value Officer here. I'm just up here representing the leadership team. And this is our favorite day of the week because we get to be with y'all. And thank you for Zoomers being on Zoom. Those of you who are watching this next week or the week after. Let's get started, Jason.
Let's do it. Leroy Jenkins. Our purpose, serve agents and impact lives.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Chad. That was great emphasis. We take this very seriously. You guys are impactors. If we can forward to you and impact more people, I think the better this world will be. And speaking of how much better this world will be, if we were able to do this in a month, wouldn't that be great if our team meetings, we had you teaching the AI, and we had Matt Burke here teaching how to hike. And then Olivia, maybe some hike tips too, I don't know. And then we have the dynamic duo of Grace and Toddy. I just think this is another amazing month. I thank you all. And also I wanted to take a quick moment, because I think everything's done. If you notice, you haven't hit your knees on the tables.
No coffee spills in the making of this meeting.
Yes, anything else you hit on the table, that's your responsibility. It's not because, and so Amanda, stand up. Woo! Come on.
It was fun. I just hope everybody enjoys the new space and it reflects who we are as an office. So
Absolutely.
it was a lot of work and a lot of late nights, but I think it's awesome. So thank you for everybody.
Thank you.
This is an area that we most appreciate because you were given designs, and this was one of them. And you absolutely said no to this. I don't know how you finessed that.
I will admit though, there are pictures in my office that still need to go up. There are some cute little 4x4 pictures that will be going somewhere of all the KWPR dogs that were listed on the thing. So they can look forward to that, but yeah.
They should probably
Keep
go
it towards the
110.
back where she doesn't have to see it, but yeah.
Thank you for this major adjustment. Thank you for all your time and effort.
Yes,
Thank you, appreciate it. One of our goals here at Keller Williams really is to return $1 million in profit share in 2030. That's a big goal, and my favorite day of the month is the text I get to send you saying, hey, $700 is dropping into your account in a couple days. Or Steve, it would be the million itself. So, thank you very much. Hey, leadership, what do we got?
Culture, integrity, impact, growth. Keller Williams, we take the oath.
Okay, well, those are our values. And if you didn't notice, that's what they were written right there. And a person that exudes this immensely is Brian Sunder. Brian, as he is up 44% year to date on units closed. So that was his Play of the Week nomination. But then, as many of you know, he also leads Bible study every Wednesday.
Yes.
And it's vibrant and marvelous, and he doesn't miss an opportunity to uplift anyone he comes in contact with. And his notes are amazing. When you see his notes, it's beautiful as an artist. So, Brian, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else you know? Oh, please, yeah. Anyone else you know that deserves, or you see doing something special, doesn't have to be business, it can be anything, let us know. One thing I do want to make clear, we have Bible study, we also have book clubs, and we are absolutely open to Quran studies. Anything that someone wants to start and lead, please bring it on. And speaking of, we have that with Melissa, starting the Shift Book Club. Way to go, Melissa. How'd it go?
It was a really wonderful meeting yesterday. Thanks to everyone who took the time to come. If you would like to come in the future, you're not too late. We've got a little guide here for what pages we're reading next Tuesday. Anyone want to join? All right. Love it. Thank you. Good.
One more for John.
You got it. I'll hand out more later.
We can share.
Well, she's as shifty as it gets, and she knows her shift. There's gonna be so many fun activities with that, but we'll not go there. But speaking of shifty people, let's bring up Toddy.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so family reunion early bird pricing ends on October 17th. So if you're planning to go to family reunion, make sure you get your ticket. Obviously, the less you can pay, the better. So we're gonna get that. Tomorrow we have Kyle Cross coming to talk about taking 10 listings a month. He's from KW Maple Grove, and Jamie told me that he's known Olivia for a long time. So obviously that must mean that he's cool. And
Give a quick, Olivia, give us a quick about Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle's great. He's also a MAPS coach, and so he's worked with me and the region to figure out which market centers to teach in first, and of course, you all are on the calendar first. So he really is great. He used to be the lead listing specialist on David Foy's team, and him and his wife now have their own team, but he really is great, so I highly suggest it.
nice. Awesome. And then on Thursday, November 20th, we have our very own Bryce, and he's teaching Understanding Contracts to Win with Clients. So that will be a good one. Then we have CE opportunities coming up on the 21st of October. We have 2 classes right in a row that will be hosted by Branch. It is free to you, so it'll be here in the training room. And then we do have our CE Blitz coming January 19th and 20th. We do have a QR code to sign up. I know it's a little ways out, but the sooner that you're signed up, the less you have to worry about your CE. We will have lunch provided, cost is $165, and we will be comparing the last 2 years of CE Blitz that we've hosted at KWPR to make sure that we're not overlapping on the classes that we have taught. So before you sign up for CE, it is a good idea to just check your transcript to make sure you're not doubling up so that you actually get credit. So get signed up for that. And then we are having the happy hour at this model home. Robert Thomas Model Home, so keep your eye out for that. It should be a good time. And then, as a reminder, we have the Mind, Soul, and Goal Retreat happening on November 1st. It's a little bit of bonding and a little bit of business planning. I've heard there's gonna be wine and also a charcuterie board. So, good time to kick off the planning for your next year. Then we have business planning coming, which is super exciting, with Patrick Woods. He'll be here at our Market Center on November 17th. More details to come on that, but he's super, super great. So make sure that you get signed up for that. Like I said, more details to come, but it'll be 8:30 to 4 on November 17th. And then we have the save the date for the gratitude potluck and turkey bingo. And we have so graciously had some volunteers of Mary and Tasha, sorry. I was looking at Trisha. And so it's gonna be a really good time. And yeah, more details to come out for that, but just mark your calendars for November 17th. And then we have the save the date for Photos with Santa. We went over some details on this last week, but we will have a sign up coming out pretty soon. Just as a reminder, we will have the sign up coming out, and it is being created by the pros of Santa Sid. So this year you will not be able to reserve spots for your clients. The sign up will be directly going to your clients, and then they'll sign up, and we will let you know how many clients you have coming versus reserving spots as the agent. There's about 50 something slots. So it's gonna move quick, but they're super pros, and we're just gonna get through like an assembly line. There's also gonna be a Santa experience that we're creating in the resource room, where kids can write letters to Santa. There's gonna be some fun little crafts they can do. So it should be a really good time this year. And apparently that's Santa Sid.
That's Santa Sid,
That is Santa Sid,
Olivia's group last year.
Okay.
That said December 4th.
Yes, a Thursday.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
that's what I was gonna ask about,
Yep,
that's a Thursday.
so this year we are doing it a little bit different versus doing it on the weekend. We're doing it on a Thursday night from 4 to 7. So just so you know, that is the correct date. Lance?
Any elves on the shelf at this thing?
I don't know.
Are you volunteering?
Yeah, do you wanna be the elf?
The elf.
Well, there has been in previous Christmas events,
Okay.
there has been an elf on, the 7-foot elf on the shelf that has shown up.
That would be
Well,
fabulous.
I will talk to you about that.
We'll have
Thank
to
you for
talk a lot.
volunteering.
I have to see if the costume's still around.
We'll find one.
Yeah, we'll find one.
Keep an eye out.
Would fit you.
Okay, well, thank you.
You just have to be careful because some of the costumes I put on, people were saying, oh, you're Catholic. So we have to be.
We will make sure that it is appropriate. Okay?
I wanna see
him in green
tights. And then we have.
No, you don't.
Then we have the Unfiltered Mastering Social Media class next week with Grace and I. And if you know anything about Grace and I, it should be a good time. So, Grace is the one with the brains behind all this. I'm just up there to make it, extra fun. So we'll see you next week for that.
Thank you.
All right, we need to keep moving, I got so much to say about Lance. Let's bring up Karina.
Yeah, there's the song.
No real numbers today, but I do want to welcome Alex Marsole from Home Free TC up, as she is one of the other in-house TC companies that we are partnering with. So, welcome Alex.
Thanks, Karina. Seriously, it's been a while. I know so many of you, so many familiar faces, lots of new faces, but the culture has changed, but it's still the same, and love the team meeting and the vibes. It's good to be back. I'm Alex Marsole. I own Home Free TC. You might remember the company from before. It was Minnesota Transaction Coordinators. We rebranded when we started working in Wisconsin, just to help with clarity. Ultimately, I'm here to help you all build your repeat and referral-based business. We do transaction coordination support for realtors here in the Twin Cities. There we go. So I'm not here today to convince you that you need to leave your current transaction coordinator or that you need to hire a TC. Likely, if you are in the need, you already know. If you feel like raising your hand, please feel free. But ultimately, I'm here to provide value to all of you so that you remember me if and when you need a transaction coordinator. Someday I just simply come to mind. I do have some slides for you that you guys can take pictures of because I am going to go fast. What makes us different is I put myself in your shoes, and how do I help you build that repeat referral-based business? That's really what matters. I like agents who, focus on building that type of business. The big one I want to highlight here, our agents get reviews 75% of the time. 100% of those reviews have been 5-star. I kid you not. So when we ask your clients to write you a review on your behalf, 75% of the time they're doing that for you when we ask. And I'm so proud of that because it speaks highly to the quality of service that you all provide and the way that we support you as well. 425 only paid if you closed. There's 14 of us full-time, been in business 10 years, closed over 13,000 transactions. So our values, but again, I want to give you guys what you really need inside of your business. There we go. 3 ideas to help continue to build that repeat referral-based business. So first, being consistent with your clients. I want all of your clients to have the same predictable experience time and time again, so that if they refer their parents to you, that their parents get the same experience that you gave to their child. Does that make sense? And you do that by having predictable systems. It feels like clockwork to you, but to them, it feels like intentional value-added touches. So I'd encourage you all, what are 2 to 3 things that you can implement in your transaction process to help give that predictable, clockwork experience for you and those value intentional touches to them. This one, I like to find excuses to rejudge people without saying, hey, who do you know who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, right? If they had a new baby, drop off wipes. Everyone needs wipes. Babies change diaper sizes, drop off wipes to their door. If they're a foodie, bring a gift card to their favorite restaurant. If it rained, and it's the first big rain that they've had since they've been in their house, call them and ask, is the basement still dry?
find excuses to help continue that relationship with them. That is not just simply asking for referrals. Be authentically yourself, do things that work well for you. It got cut off here down at the bottom. But I like the idea, I love to garden, so like bringing seed packets in the spring or bringing around jars of jam that I made, anything that's authentic to you, just to find reasons to get in front of them, right?
Could you back up a slide up,
Yeah.
the one before?
I can try. Is someone helping control this?
Use it.
Thank you. I was like, it's moving. Mine's not doing anything, you're doing great. So yeah, if you wanted to snap pictures, I know that for a lot of you, you probably already, this is not new information. I'm here to like remind you like, oh yes, I meant to do that back in May, but it was super crazy busy. Now's a good time of year to start implementing these things, especially with the shifting market, especially going through Bold, setting up those systems for success now, so as your business continues to build, you have the systems and processes to lean on. Go one more. Last one, Fines for Life program. If you set the expectation, hey, I'm gonna add you to my Fines for Life program, people just know to expect that annual market evaluation from you. They know that they're going to hear from you with updated homeowners tips, preferred vendors, etc. Just tell them like, hey, I loved working with you. I'm going to add you to my like VIP list or whatever you want to call it. And it sets the expectation that you're going to follow through with them. Think of it as following through and not following up. We told them you were going to do it, and now you are simply doing it. I found that this is very successful, so for some of our top repeat referral-based agents, I highly recommend you all lean into this if possible. If you have any questions about our services and what we do, everything, like I said, that we do is based on that and helping you build that repeat referral-based business. That's my contact information. I live down in New Prague, so I'm not too far from you all, and pleasure to be back. Thank you. Hopefully I kept Also, I brought a ton of food, like to feed an army, so if you're hungry for Chipotle, yes, we're gonna have some good food after
Well, speaking of vendors, how about we bring up Free Bride? Come on up, Brian.
Well, hello, I'm Brian Sunder with New American Funding. And I wanted to touch on a few bullet points. I've probably talked a lot about these in depth, but I just want to touch on a few things. We're local. My underwriter is local. I can pick up the phone and talk to him. We've got a deal closing in 10, 15 days. We can get it done. Servicing, we're not, our servicing, we pretty much service 95% of our loans, conventional, VA, USDA. And so our customers don't need to get that letter, okay, now mail your payments here. Except for specialty loans like maybe Minnesota Housing, down payment assistance, we're servicing them. Marketing, talking about getting referrals. Above and beyond what you do to your own marketing base, you're co-marketed on statements, happy birthday cards, that kind of thing. Again, an extra touch point to keep you top of mind. Then the next three are really geared around making a non-contingent offer. We have our recast program where customer needs to qualify to continue owning their old home, but also buy the new home. And then when you do sell their old home, a month later, they take those funds, can apply it down onto that new home mortgage, reduce the principal, probably get rid of mortgage insurance, and drastically lower the payment. All right? Then we have our bridge loan, where they can't afford maybe both houses. Well, we would do a bridge loan on their existing home, pull the cash out to buy the new one. We don't count the payment on the bridge loan for 12 months. So they're not getting hit with that payment. So now they will qualify to buy with a large down payment that they pulled out of the old house. And then when they do sell, they're still gonna have some equity there where they can then apply those funds and recast that payment even lower. And lastly, we've talked a lot about in the past, our NAV cash, where you're gonna turn your buyer into a cash buyer. Where, cash is king, and maybe, we talk about a non-contingent offer, and Michelle and I were talking, maybe now, more so than the last 3-4 years, you can maybe get a contingent offer through where we just couldn't before. But to come into your strongest, your strongest point to purchase is still gonna be a non-contingent offer. And I wanted to talk, it might be a little bit tough to read, about a program that's been out there forever, and you might only come across it, once every 2-3 years, but if you're thinking about it, there might be more opportunities for it. And it's Fannie and Freddie, where a child can purchase for a parent and have that be owner occupied, or a parent purchase for a disabled child, all right? Let's say a senior parent, they just have maybe small Social Security. They can't afford to purchase. Well, a child can purchase for that parent, and you can call it owner occupied. And the whole key is that it's owner occupied, and you get all the benefits, less down payment, lower rates, better everything if it's owner occupied compared to investment property, all right? It's been out there, but just maybe keep it at the top of your mind, because those opportunities are out there instead of, you don't qualify. That might be an opportunity to get a sale or two where you weren't thinking about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Nice work, Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been thunderstruck. Speaking of thunderstruck, before we move on to the main event, I would like someone who really waxes poetic in a great way and just has such amazingly deep, wonderful, thoughtful insights to introduce our guest. Jason Arvidsson, please come up. Wow. Here, I'll get you a walk-up song. Everyone knows it's my favorite pirate. 15 men on a dead man's chest.
That's a lot of men on your chest. I'm just gonna point that out. Hey, for those of you who know my story, I spent 30 years working in retail prior to coming to Keller Williams. And, well, I mean, it's 29, but it's 30. And I hated what I did. I hated the people I worked with by the time I was done. And I hated what I was doing. And that was a tough place to be. And ultimately, my lovely wife said, you need to do something different. Either it's going to kill you or I am. And that put me in a place where I'd done, a lot of things there, but I knew that I needed to do something different. And I think that was important. But what came important to me as I was leaving is not anymore deciding where I worked. Because I'd changed retail companies from time to time. I could choose another one. It wasn't about where I worked anymore. It was about who I was going to work with. And as much as I like to call her my boss, she resists that very strongly and reminds me at every possible opportunity that she is in fact my partner. And I will tell you, after 30 years working for other people, that it is very, very difficult to let go of the I work for someone mentality and instead transition to a place and a person who gives me the tools that I need, asks me the questions that need to be asked, and challenges me to do better on a regular basis without making it feel like it's my fault. The biggest challenge I have on a regular basis is, in my mind, living up to what and who she is on a regular basis. So when I came to Keller Williams, it was the choice of who I was going to work with. And I can't be more proud of where I work because of who I work with. And while that extends to all of you, because I do truly, truly enjoy and get great pleasure out of working with each and every one of you, it all starts with my partner, Olivia.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one other thing we want to introduce while we are moving all this is Grace's new haircut. How outstanding is that? Let's give her a round of applause.
So fancy with the new setup.
Doesn't mean you can leave your black cup up there though, Olivia.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No, not now.
Oh, because I often leave it behind, okay. But it has the dog on it, so it's
Always that one too.
It's like, oh, dog on it.
It has a dog? How many right
It does, I know. It's just you'll see it all of where she leaves it, as much as she runs around, it's like, how did her truck get from the now?
Well, now I have Sienna, and she usually finds it for me, so thanks for being my cup.
And her coffee.
Fair. I'm not sure. Hi.
Well, hey, well, welcome. Those you know, I love to rip on Olivia. We're kind of like brother and sister that way. But just like family reunion's amazing because you can pick your family members. So if I'm like your brother, you can actually pick other people to go with.
Yeah,
Because that's a good thing.
I would agree, yeah.
Yes, so I'd like to start off today with something very obvious. No French toast today.
No French toast today. This is how this is gonna go. No wonder why I didn't get any questions ahead of time.
You want to tell the story quick about the French tuck
No.
issue?
No, we're good, we can move on.
Okay, all right.
They've all heard it before.
I suppose.
I have not.
Oh, see, there we go. Thank you.
So get one of the two guests in the room.
Settling right
All right,
in.
so now we have to decide if we're gonna allow you to come here, Louis. There's a, just
Got my
Google
vote.
French tuck of a woman's shirt. It's like where they tuck it half, one side halfway in and the other one out. And Jamie, the very first time I wore it, he thought, God, did you have a late night? Were you out late? No, I go to bed at like 9 p.m. It's not 8:30. And he thought that it was a sign that I was like half drunk. Because I was drunk. And it was like, so then I'll walk around the office sometimes and Jamie will see me and having the half tuck and he'll walk around doing the same. It's really just, I don't know, is it funny anymore? I don't know. They're laughing. It must have been funny.
Well, it was like a moment where you see someone if they might have their zipper down. I was trying to be nice to her.
No, he wasn't.
And then she spreads me all around the office going, hey, did you hear what he said?
That's not how I sounded, but anyway,
Pretty close.
here we go.
All right, well, let's get started. So why are we interviewing Olivia? There's so many reasons. It is warm. And we have, a lot of people that might not know your whole story. And we really would like to go a little deeper, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning. Get a chance to know you better.
Okay.
What about life growing up in Iowa?
Yes, so that's where my love of dogs started. Just kidding. I have 3 brothers, an older brother and 2 younger brothers, and I was born in a small town called Creston, Iowa. It had a population of like 8,000 people. So the cool thing to do even at the age of 13 when we moved out of town was to cruise down Main Street. Even though I wasn't allowed to be in cars with boys at that time, I was. And so, we got to cruise up and down Main Street as a 13, scoop the loop, as my dad knows. But yeah, no, life was good. You live in a bubble when you're in a small town, everybody knows your stuff. And I think my strong personality comes from my 3 brothers. Again, I'm 1 older and 2 younger, so I often would be tickled until I cried or, things thrown at me or whatever. So my tough skin, my armor, if you will, probably comes because of my brothers, so, yeah.
Well, when did you come up here? How old are you?
I was 13 when we moved up here, so moved to Lakeville. It was McGuire Junior High, I think, back in the day, so I went to 8th grade at McGuire. 9th grade was, there was one Lakeville high school at the time, and so I went there. We were the first and only 9th grade class. Melissa, and some of you in our dance line group. So 8th and 9th grade I went to Lakeville, and then my parents got a divorce and I moved to West St. Paul with my mom and my 2 younger brothers and finished at Sibley High School, which is now
Two Rivers.
Two Rivers. And I went to 10, 11, and 12 there.
Nice. And you graduated.
Yes, I graduated.
So from the time growing up in Iowa to that point, what would you say, What are some of the values that shaped who you are today? Tough skin.
Yeah, I would say hard work. I thought maybe you were gonna ask me when I got my first job, and that would have been at the, oh, okay. So never
But
mind.
you can go whichever.
I got my first job at the age of 8. I had a paper route, and I was the fire station fireman's favorite. And I rerouted my route so that the second to last stop would be there, so I could get ice cream and hang out with them. And I made the paper and front page of the paper and wore all their stuff. And I think at the age of 8, literally at the age of 8, I realized that I wanted to have a big life. I wanted to earn a lot of income so that I could give it away, so that I could just live comfortably. And you know, my dad grew up on a farm and they worked their butts off. Their whole family worked their butts off. And so I think that just was embedded into us, my brothers and I, very early age, that you need to work hard, right? And so I've adapted the work hard, play hard mentality, as you all know, for many years. And I work hard and I play hard. So.
Did you ever help Dad inseminate pigs?
It was cows and no.
Oh, it was cows. You never helped her, had her do that with you?
I did not own any cows by the time we moved
Oh, so there's still time.
to town. Well, I guess I still own the cows, but anyway.
Awesome, well, thank you. Well, what are some of the biggest challenges that shaped who you are during that time frame?
Yeah, I think challenges at the time, but now looking back, you know, probably blessings. It's not easy, you know, to be, you know, in a family where your parents split up. And we've all healed from that. It took some time, but I think that a couple of those moments of, okay, work hard and I want to make sure that I always can provide for my family, and making sure that I chose the right partner in Colin. And so we had a very, very, very fierce conversation before we even got engaged, and it was a great conversation, but I wanted him to realize I wanted to live a big life. And I wasn't living a big life because I met him when I was 19. So we met at We Fest, if you aren't familiar with that story. So you're drinking Busch Light and you're hanging out with Canadian boys and meeting his parents, all in the same weekend. And but our connection grew very quickly. Thank you. And it is so hot in here. Is anybody else hot? Can we adjust? No, it's not because I'm sitting next to you. Can we adjust? And is there still one over here behind that TV? I think you have to, no. We don't use that one anymore. Okay.
In my office afterwards.
Colin, notice how she's getting warm talking.
Just talking about you.
But I'm chained. At any rate, we often, it was just our anniversary over the weekend, and we even spoke about, you know, kind of back in the day, but it was important to me that I partner with somebody that wanted to have a big life as well, right? And not just money, but being true in our faith and giving back to others, pouring into others. We both thrive on mentoring and giving back to others. He just met with one of my very closest friends who lives in California, her nephew yesterday morning. He's going to school here, he's fallen on some tough times, and Colin grabbed coffee with him yesterday morning at 8 a.m. So I think some of those lessons were giving back to others, you know, mentoring, pouring into others were things that were going to be very important to us.
Nice. And as we see Steve, and when Victoria's here, we can see where all your giving came from.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. So what was the moment that sparked and said, okay, I'm into real estate?
Well, I dropped out of college. I didn't really, this will be shocking to a lot of you, I didn't really love sitting in a classroom with someone telling me what to do. And I'm not a good student, and wasn't a good student. And so I went to Everett Hills Community College. That's all I could afford at the time, and only because all my friends went to college, I thought I should do that too, right? We've heard those stories, like, right? And so I dropped out of college, and became a bartender, and we got married. I got into real estate, and we bought a house all in the fall of 2002. And originally it was a conversation that I had with my dad that, you know, he said I could sell ice to an Eskimo, you should get into real estate. I thought, okay, well, I definitely don't want to be a bartender for the rest of my life, so maybe I should give this real estate a try. And so got in and worked part-time, pretty much part-time, full-time bartender for, thank you, Toddy. I'm glad I'm not the only one that's warm. Maybe it's just sitting next to you. Oh, that's true. So when I kind of made that decision that I did not want to bartend forever, and I really did want to, make a go of the real estate thing, I worked hard. And I'll never forget, Colin probably remembers too, it would have been in the fall of 2005 maybe, where I said, I'm not gonna do this forever. I'm not gonna serve a bunch of crazy people in a bar. My legs hurt, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, like it was just annoying. And so I worked hard, and imagine what I did for a few months. I lead generated like crazy, like we all should be doing every day. And I did it every day. And wouldn't you know, I had 11 closings the following January and February, which was enough for me to retire from being a bartender because we had the income that we needed. Now, average sale prices back then were probably like, $150,000, so it's not $400,000 like our average sale price now, but it just was a defining moment where, okay, the harder that I work, the more income that I can make, the more people that I can influence and impact. I don't think I understood the work smarter part of it, which we all now have learned inside KW, right? Work hard, but work smart. I definitely didn't have that back then, but I think the defining moment was, wow, I can put in more effort and make more income and quit a job that I hated, quite frankly, right? And bartending, so.
Awesome. Hey, before we move on, one thing I should have done at the beginning, what are your titles? For those of you who don't know, what are all your, she's got more titles than my grandma had casseroles.
That's the worst analogy ever. Brian's like shaking, like literally Brian just looks at me and shakes his head and goes, I know, Brian, I know.
We were really good.
He had lots of casseroles in Iowa too. Let's not talk about
Hot
casseroles
dish.
anymore.
Hot dish.
Hot dish, yeah, I know, right? There's probably people in the room that make that tater tot hot dish, and you take one tater tot and you turn it a little bit for the freaks that it has to be perfect. I've seen those memes on social media. Anyways, okay, so I am the operating principal here at the office, which just means I'm the primary owner. I have investor partners, and my job is vision and growth, and help oversee the growth of the Market Center. I am still a coach with HHG, so I do all of the coaching and some of the recruiting as well there. And then last August, had the opportunity to become the regional director for the North Central region. So I know we have a few guests in the, room, so essentially my job is growth for the 6 states. And we're the largest region of 30 regions, I always like to say that. Wisconsin, Minnesota, North and South Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming. So 6 different states, 4,300 agents strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Let's go. So I'm gonna skip this and go right into that since you're talking about it.
Okay.
So when you stepped into that regional role, you didn't just step into a position, you stepped into a mission. If I remember correctly, it was in a condition, and you were specifically sought out for being the RD, knowing who you are and what you mean to the company and what the company means to you. How was stepping into that mission?
It's good. It's really good. It's a lot of work. It's very challenging. Sienna gets to hear some of my phone calls. I would say that it's challenging, but it's rewarding. Same thing as when I'm coaching, all of you. I want you to succeed sometimes more than you want to succeed, and I see in you more than what you see in yourself, and that's the same thing in the regional role that I struggle with, where I have, operators that, don't show up, they don't participate, they don't pour in, they don't send their people to training, and that's hard for me, because when I run the region or lead the region, we're bringing a ton of value to the region, right? I'm sure you guys have all noticed the difference in trainings that have come in the last year and a bit that are available to all of you. So I think it's gone well. I feel like we're still just getting started. There's 2 different types of regions out there. There's what's called a company-owned region, and we're a company-owned region. And what that means is we're owned by Gary Keller and a few other investors. And then there's privately held regions, right? So the Southwest or Southeast region is owned by 3 or 4 individuals, and Gary Keller doesn't own it. So the difference is company-owned and non-company-owned, and we're a company-owned region. which means I report directly to, one of the executives at KWRI. And at the time, we were number 24. So what they look at is the same thing we look at here in terms of gross, how many recruits guests we bring in each month, and how many we retain each month, right? So gross and net. And the region was number 24 out of 30 regions in terms of net recruits. And right now, we are the number 1 region in company-owned regions in terms of growth in the last year. And I say that to say, not because I think Taylor and I and Rachel and Abby are doing a good job. I think it's all about the vision. And when you get the vision very clear to your leaders, so those of you that have teams or you're leading your families, like if you make your vision very clear, others will follow if you provide them the opportunity and you coach them up, right? So I can't force anybody to want to grow. But the ones that are performing at the really high level inside the region are the ones that want to grow. And they're the ones that have the teams, like the leadership team here, right? So, yeah, it's challenging, for sure, it's challenging, but it's very rewarding.
What made you say yes? Because when we look back at that time, I remember we had many conversations with leadership. We didn't have CC yet, and thank you for being such a blessing, CC. And we didn't have that yet, and
we didn't have an MCA either, so I was team leader, MCA, OP, and then decided to be crazy and step into the RD role.
Yeah, so my question is, why?
I was just kind of bored. I think it was another challenge, and it was another way to impact others. And we talked about it, Colin and I talked about it for a few months before I finally said yes under these conditions, and they were able to meet all those conditions, right? I wanted a regional office in this building. I didn't want to be in Edina. I didn't need to be in Edina, which is where they wanted me, didn't want that. So little things that, I wanted it here so that I could be close to, proximity to all of you. I think it was a way to also elevate for sure the training and culture that you all get. And it's very important to me that when we do those regional events, and I told you when some of you were in the room when we made the announcement, that it was important to me that you all get the special treatment when these individuals come to town. So last week when we had the summit, your ALC got about 40 minutes with Ken Pozak one-on-one afterwards to get all of their questions answered. We've had private dinners with some of the other instructors, and we've had people come in and teach. So I think although it was a good decision for me and our family, you better believe that I had this Market Center in mind too, so.
Well, as a leadership team, thanks for trusting us at that time.
Well, and I think part of it too, over time, and the leadership team is gonna laugh at this, I can be maybe more involved in KWPR than I need to be. Meaning, I can insert myself where I don't need to be. And Nikki's smiling over there because I've done it at HHG too. Because, you have a big idea and you might see that, they're gonna, that's probably not what they should do, but maybe. And finally they said to me a couple years ago, in a very loving way, and I needed to hear it, like, can you just let us fall if we need to fall? I'm like, okay, well, like how hard, we're gonna get hit by a semi, or you want me to let you know, or, but I've led market centers for so many years that I have that experience over a lot of them. And so, but I think it really has given your leadership team an opportunity to step up in ways with me stepping a little bit more, out. Minus the, how many months I was team leader, MCA, and OP, and having to take care of you. Dealing with you, I mean.
Okay. So, well, let's talk about leadership real quick. What drives you? Okay, well, let me back up. You are existing in the world of multiple market centers across the region. What are you seeing there that makes you appreciative of what you've built here? What are some things you're seeing that's like, oh my God?
Probably need this one.
I think someone here.
Just in case, there's two more here. I think, unengaged leadership teams would be the first and foremost. And then I you know, when we have to visit every single market center in the region, which is 30 of them, at least once a year. And when we go into these market centers, Taylor and I, for the most part, thank you. It's very obvious the ones that have leadership teams that are plugged in, ones that aren't. We've been in ones where we have welcome signs, we don't need it, but you walk in and your name's on a fun thing. I can't tell you how many times guests walk into this office and they see their name at the front and they're taking pictures, you're like, oh my gosh. Okay, that's an engaged leadership team. But we'll walk into some of these market centers and they don't even know we're coming. Like, we fly to other states to go to these places and their staff doesn't even know that we're coming. Now, I'm not saying we need the title of region, we don't, but it's pretty darn important when the region visits your office that you would make your staff aware of that. So I look at training calendars, right? We study every market center's training calendar and we say, well, what would you invite, you know, guests to? What on your training calendar would you invite a guest to? And a lot of them don't have like a team meeting or bold. Okay, well, that's great, but there's gotta be something that you should invite your guests to, and we don't see that. You can feel the culture when you walk in the door anywhere. Any organization, any restaurant, any office, any corporate place, any place of worship, you can feel the culture, good or bad. And you can feel it when you walk into some of these that aren't necessarily plugged in. So for me, for sure, it's unengaged leadership teams that pour down to, thank you, sorry, Grace. Screwed up.
Oh, you're good.
So it's definitely that all trickles down, right? We lead from the bottom up here, but it does start with leadership. And if the leadership is not engaged in pouring into their agents and loving on their agents and providing value for their agents, the market center's not gonna do well either. And that's exactly how it portrays from something like this to the other regions, or the other market centers.
Well, it's only been started before, but I wasn't looking to go anywhere, and then I met Olivia, and I grew up in the Twins culture, Minnesota Twins, back when Kirby was a leader, and this was the first time talking about culture. I felt that culture since, and I knew I needed to be here, and she's my Kirby bucket. So now that I've said that, I was gonna say, how do you look to hire your leadership? Obviously, it's looks first. But what is shit?
Diamond and Lewis, I'm really sorry. He thinks he's funny, he's not always funny, so just, you know, crack a smile, make him feel good within the time. We got a couple of guests in the room and they don't really, there's lots that was funny. Yeah, well.
So has anything with the vision you have here, has anything shifted now that you've been an RD for a while? Has anything shifted with your vision, or excuse me, what you see from Keller Williams and what you see from us here?
That's a good question. I would say on a corporate side or a Keller Williams Realty International side, I'm probably more excited about the company now than I have been before. Just like any changes that we've had here on our leadership teams or any other market center in the region that has changes, when there's changes, things get a little, you know, they can get funky, as John Davis used to say. Some of you will remember that guy. But, you know, we had a partnership with Stone Point Capital earlier this year through Keller Williams Realty International. And I think we all we as in regional staff and OPs and team leaders sat back and said, okay, well, what's gonna happen here? What does this mean? Are we turning corporate? Is Gary selling? And it's very much stronger. It's stronger than it's ever been. And I'm seeing where the partnership with Stone Point is starting to play out in a positive way. Probably in about a week or two, I'll be able to roll out to you a diagram that Chris Sarnecki, who's the current CEO, came up with and presented to us as RDs a couple of weeks ago for the value, he calls it the value tracker. And there's 3 different phases of the value tracker, and essentially all the things that they're working on behind the scenes to make it a better company for you. And obviously one of the first was the partnership with Canva, and they're working on all these things. So far, what they've invested into the value tracker and my OPs know this, but you're the first office to hear this, so, you know, I don't know what you post on social media, but maybe just keep it here for now. They have about $15 million invested into everything that they're rolling out, working on rolling out to the company. From everything to, you know, group pricing on E&O insurance, to better marketing, to leads programs for agents that want leads. So I think from a vision standpoint nationally, I'm super excited, and I know you probably haven't felt that because I've been traveling a ton. But what was the other part of the question? Sorry.
What is it, what?
Oh, the vision here.
Change what you see here.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, and I think, although I'm not looking to change the goal of $1 million in profit share, we're gonna need a few more years to get there. We have 3 market centers in the region that are in the top 100, and you are one of them. And Milwaukee is our strongest operators and our strongest market center in the region, and through the month of August, they had about $550,000 in owner profit. So it's gonna take us time to get there. I still believe that we can do it. We're gonna need your help too. Recruiting for just 2 people is very hard. So we might have to extend that. I don't want to, but when I really see, you know, the numbers on a national and a regional level, it's gonna be real hard to get there by 2030. So I do want to keep the vision the same, but we're gonna need to adjust the year. So vision wise, it's still the vision, we're just gonna have to change it up a bit.
Got it. Fair enough. Before we move on to the next step, as you're talking, I'm looking around at all these places. So you're talking about the leadership and think about leaders and look at all these people that comes to our.
You're gonna do that.
Because think, life's short and you only get, you know, so much time, and to surround yourself with certain people means everything, so.
It really
What
does.
does this mean to you?
Everything. I mean, this is where it all started, right? I started at Keller Williams Preferred Realty in 2002. Krista, Janie, Steve, and about 26 other people in 2002, right? And in 2008, I was asked to become the team leader of KW Maple Grove, so I left Keller Williams Preferred Realty, went up there, became the team leader, was there for 5 years. Then I was able to come back to KW Preferred and get into partnership with my dad and David Christensen and a gentleman by the name of Larry Stoller. And when I purchased the Market Center, there was 29 of you. And Krista, were you even here yet? When did you come? 2006?
I came in 2005.
2005, okay. So I think we had 2 cappers at the time in the population of 30 agents. It was you and Janie. And Mark Willis said at the time, you have 6 months to fix it or we're closing the doors. So I thought, okay, well, we'll roll up the sleeves and we'll do it again because I got some cleanup to do in Maple Grove as well. And so we did it and we grew it and we didn't obviously close the doors. We were able to finally afford to be able to come to a nicer office, which at the time I was kicking and screaming because I didn't want to move from Lakeville to Burnsville because I just thought that there was just this weird stigma, I don't know if that's the right word, but when we found this building and we knew that we could be right on 35 with a sign, not in a little townhouse, remember Steve, a little townhouse with barely a cool sign on the outside of the building, God bless that location. That location is what gave me the grace. Taylor and I were in there, Taylor was the MCA at the time, who's now my partner at the region, Taylor Fisher, we're in there painting the walls because we couldn't even afford to hire a painter at the time, right? So when we were able to move here, it was about a 20-hour day because we couldn't afford like really professional movers, so we had the college punks move your junk. Well, that was fun for the females, right? We're like, yeah. But we finished at like midnight that night, and Taylor and I were the last to leave, and we said, all right, here we go. This was 2015, and we said, all right, now here's our next level, of growth. So we've been physically in this location since 2015, and Amanda has revived the place that we started in when we couldn't really afford to even put much on the walls around here. And so now when I'm here and it just feels so much better with just how, yes, thank you. It's more welcoming and it's more inviting and I don't have those stupid chandelier lights at the front desk anymore, right? But Todd Haig knew I wanted those lights and then they went up and I was like, I will never tell him that I hate those lights. But they were up for 10 years until Amanda found them. Yeah, you're probably gonna give them to me in a box and all, right? So I think, I feel like I'm rambling. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, what does it mean looking? I still feel like we're just getting started. We've been kind of sitting at around 180, 190. We bounced up to 203. We're even though we're strong and we're more profitable this year and we have more profit share, and our numbers are better, you know, volume's up, closings are up, which is kudos to you. I still feel like we're just getting started. And the leadership team knows this, that I don't want to get started anymore. I'm ready to grow. Cicely's doing her job. Jason's kicking butt. You all are starting to send in, more referrals. But I can't wait until this room is, we have to outgrow this room because there's 100 people in this room instead of 50, right? And I know there's a bunch of people online because I got a bunch of texts this morning. It's MEA, so they, we have kids home and whatnot. But the more that we grow, the more profit share there is for you, the better, classes that we can have in terms of instructors. We can hire more staff eventually, more market share, right? Like more signs in the ground that have your name on it. So I think it's very humbling to sit up here in front of all of you. So I'm grateful.
Well, we're running low on time, so I would like to ask, we have 2006 right around the corner, so it's your coaching hat.
Okay, well, we're not going back in time, Jamie. We have 2026 right now. I gotta get my jabs in when I can. I gotta get my jabs in when I can, right?
I just wish I was back there, except for the crash. No, so pardon me, for 2026, every agent walked out of this conversation fired up for their next year. What do you hope they can carry with them from what you want them to have in their hearts from what you shared today?
You all are capable so much more. I just spoke yesterday at KW Maple Grove and they asked a similar question. And I think we forget to dream a little bit and we forget to think big because we're so comfortable doing the things that we're doing and we're in this business that it can get boring and it can get monotonous and it can get annoying to lead generate and hold these client events. But I think we need to think bigger. I know it used to be back on the wall, but I think we need to think bigger. And here's my real challenge, I think, this time of the year, and I'm sure you start to feel it as well, that it's starting to get a little cold outside, so maybe we don't want to come into the office because it's a little chilly or it's raining. And next thing you know, it's gonna be snowing. We got, Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, next thing you know, it's Christmas and it's New Year's. And then all of a sudden, we wake up the second week in January and we wanna start working again because it's fresh and it's a new year. And then y'all don't have closings until April or May because you didn't freaking work. 2026 started October 1st. Many of you are shaking your head. You're gonna have closings this year that you maybe generate this week or next week. We've got about, I don't know, what are we down to, Kat? 7 or 8 weeks left. We just talked about this the other day. To pen deals, unless it's a cash deal that's closing in December. But don't stop working now, for Pete's sake. Otherwise, you're gonna feel it in your financials in the next couple of months. I want you to be with your family. I want you to be present, but when you're working, for Pete's sake, work. And when you're with your family, be where your feet are, right? And so, we feel it in the market center. We're always profitable now in January, February, and March, but our numbers go down just like the market's numbers go down because it's cold. Sometimes it's really freaking cold. Not as cold as Canada. We're going through a weekend, like, oh my gosh. But I encourage you to, we've got business planning coming up in a few weeks, but start thinking about what you want to accomplish between now and the end of the year, and then take your time off at Christmas and the holidays. But for Pete's sake, don't stop working now. Work up until Thanksgiving, take a couple days off, get back to work for another 4 to 5 weeks. Work, and then take your time off, and then get back to work, not the 15th of January, but like the 3rd. Otherwise, your financials are going to struggle in February, March, and April. right? So that's what I would say right now is you've got to get serious and double down on lead generation.
Any questions, any thoughts? Want to share it?
Go to work, Olivia? Is that what I heard you say?
Go to work?
Go to
Yeah,
work?
get your ass to work. Get to work.
Bryce has a question on Zoom and he says, what would you say to someone who thinks Keller Williams as a company is just a training ground for new agents? As someone who came to this market center this time last year, I know that's not the case and believe that it's the opposite, but want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I agree, and that's not the first time that I've heard that. Hi Bryce, thank you for the text this morning. I think that I've heard that before, and if you didn't hear, it's basically, you know, why is KW a great place for new agents and then not for producers? Well, I'm looking around the room, and there's not a lot of new agents in the room today. A lot of you are the top producers inside this market center, right? So I would disagree. I think we need to do a better job at Keller Williams of telling our story, right? I think this also goes back to the fact that our mission is to be growing monthly with producers. And when we do that and we're bringing in producers every month, the numbers then don't lie. I think that, Milwaukee just recruited a $90 million team from an independent, like would be like any Diner Realty, right? And guess what that independent is doing? Treating that team that has been there for 15 years like complete garbage. The team originally said, we want no marketing, we want no PR, we're just gonna leave quietly, and this independent is completely treating them like garbage. Well, now they want PR, and now they really want, to be well known that they're growing. But I think the market centers that have the highly invested leadership are the ones that are growing, the most with producers. So kind of a two-part answer. I think we need to tell our story better, and I think Cicely's already working on that with some of the interviews that she's doing with the top producers, so we can get that out on social media and we can tell our story a little bit better. So yeah, my goal in the region is even to just turn that upside down, Bryce. But I appreciate the question for sure. You're not wrong.
Well, totally. We got a call yesterday from someone who completely turned everything upside down from where they were at, and to hear someone cry and share how excited they are, not just that their numbers are growing, that their life is better, that they have great relationships here. That means a lot. I mean, that's
Someone that's joined us in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
From another brokerage who
A high producer.
High producer.
Not a brand new agent like
Yeah.
we'll share.
Yeah.
And those are the moments we live
The
for.
best quarter of her entire career happened this quarter. She was at Remax before, didn't think she could do that there, and she's done it here. So I think those are the stories. I'm looking at you because you asked the question. Those are the stories, Bryce, that we need to do a better job of telling.
Any other questions before we move along? Any last thoughts?
Well, I have a thought, but any questions or anything?
You've left them stunned.
Shane,
It's a thought. So I just had a conversation with the agent on the other side
you stand up
yesterday.
with the
What's that?
fan. We stand up with the fan. It's a little hard to hear you.
Had a conversation with the agent yesterday on the other side of a deal that potentially working. I'll just leave the company out, but we were talking about it. We were kind of semi-recruiting without trying to recruit. He's been picked to train with his company, and he says he doesn't want to do it. And the reason he said he didn't want to do it is because he doesn't want to give away any of his secrets for other people to be successful. So I think that's the big difference here that people are missing out. We're willing to share the secrets so everybody can be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times has, Sarah or Colin or Jason, a lot of you just given your whole listing presentation right in front of the room. We've shared our multiple strategy on using multiple net sheets at listing appointments, right? Like, you're gonna go get that listing because of you, not because of, Keller Williams. You're gonna get it because of you, but that's our culture. We want to share and we want to help one another. We don't look at each other as a competition. Actually, I was in another market center, and I had a lady come up to me. That was in Montana or where it was, but she said, I just joined the company a year ago, and I would never have dreamt to have left a CMA on the printer at my old company because somebody would take it. And actually, Ryan Custodio said that to us when he was at Remax and he came here, he said that. But this lady said, I've been here and I literally cannot even believe the culture of Keller Williams. So like, that's just foreign to us, but those of you that are shaking your head yes, and you were at other companies, like that's probably true. And not here, so, great. Okay, I have a final thought. So, I have something fun to share with all of you. It's been fun, fun or funny or whatever over the years to listen to this guy to my right, put my picture up there and have some dog scooping stuff and poo and just like you saw today. So I did click it, Grace. So I just thought it would be fun to have a little fun with Jamie. I texted his wife last night and I said, I really need your help. Could you send me some really funny / embarrassing photos of Jamie? And she sent me a bunch. And this is one of them. So we're only gonna use one today, but you're never gonna know when there's gonna be others. So I just thought we could have a little, fun with who wore it better. Jamie or the yeah. And I would say the latter, right? Yeah. So,
I'm honored by this.
well, and sometimes I feel like, I told this to Colin last night and I was literally laughing. I said, yeah, I could also say in front of the whole room that, yeah, sometimes when I listen to Jamie, I'm like, yeah. So, there you go.
Well, I love it.
Had to have a little fun.
Now I feel like the Twins Clubhouse total in.
Oh, good. Well, wait till you see the other ones that are coming.
Oh, good. Well, it is our 30th anniversary this month with my wife, and maybe we won't be going there.
Yeah.
So, in short, first of all, thank you for being people who have their antenna up for something that's bigger than real estate, and being our teammates, and all of us collectively have come together like spirit because of leadership tools that she's put together, and it's all from her heart and from Steve's heart. And I couldn't be more grateful, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you.
All right, we have food and then we have exactly what to say, workshop.
Woohoo! We'll see. Huh? Yeah, I know. You got all muscles. No, I know. Those shoes, man. They are fun. You
Absolutely, no, I was just trying to gather my things, so I want to get this to Jeremy there. Oh, let's do it.